Hello everyone, my name is Kuroi Egajin, and in celebration of the ending of the My Hero Academia manga, I drew my personal favorite character of the story, Tomura Shigaraki. This picture took me around 6.5 hours to draw, so if you like the results, please leave a like and please share the video. That would mean so much to me, and that would be greatly appreciated. And I would also like to apologize for the possible quality of the microphone. I am recording on a different device, so it might sound a little different from the normal. So, for those who are not necessarily aware, My Hero Academia is a story written and illustrated by mangaka Kohei Horikoshi. It was first serialized by Shueisha in the magazine of Weekly Shonen Jump in July of 2014, meaning that the final chapter is ending shortly after 10 years of serialization. And in the world of superheroes, everybody has superpowers. The story follows a powerless Izuku Midoriya who aims to be the number one hero of his superhero society. Needless to say, being one of the most popular mangas out there right now, this manga has not only impacted me, but many people around the world throughout its run. So to begin with, it is considered one of the forerunners of the, I quote, new generation of manga. Also, the artwork is just, what the hell, absolutely godly. I really don't know what Horikoshi Sensei and his team are on, what drugs are taking or whatever, but I need it. Like, after religiously reading this manga, I even told myself that I would never be a great artist until I can draw on the same level as, Horikoshi Sensei. So after reading both My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan, it made me really revamp a lot of my art style, artistic choices, and everything. So I ended up mastering screen tone and shading in my artwork, and I really improved my backgrounds after learning how to do it. And the background of this picture actually took me the longest time, like maybe around 4 hours, but they really inspired me. And my Hero Academia and Horikoshi Sensei's art is definitely one of the biggest reasons, one of my biggest inspirations. And I would like to thank Horikoshi Sensei for his hard work and dedication, and also for inspiring me. And one day as I go into my mangaka career, hopefully, I really hope to surpass him, and I'll keep on working until I really do surpass him, but that is definitely a long time from now. So I do have a couple of thoughts regarding the ending of this series, and this portion of this video will not contain manga spoilers, but there will be manga spoilers eventually, and I'll definitely let you know whenever that happens. So although I love the series as a whole and I believe that it does have a lot to offer, I personally do not like the ending all that much. To me, it feels entirely rushed, and if a lot of y'all don't really know, I'm also a writer and an author. I've been trying to publish some of my books over the last couple of years, and I am continuing to write. And as an author, I personally love to overshow things instead of just explaining. So one of those things of show versus tell, and that's just personally how I like to write. So with that being said, I just feel like a lot of the ending of My Hero Academia, the entirety of the final act, really only has been told rather than explained or shown through the characters' monologue, actions, emotions, or whatever. So if I were to write the ending, I would straight up just begin rewriting the final act of the story, and I would definitely show more aftermath of the final battle. And just to begin with, the majority of Class 1A would have died after the major battle, the first major battle at the hospital remains in Gunga Villa. The characters I would have killed were the ones that didn't really have much screen time to begin with, so it wouldn't really have much of an impact on the readers. However, a small change like that would have given Deku even more of a reason to leave UA after chapter 306. Horikoshi could have easily played with his steadily declining of his self-image and mental state during the duration of the villain hunt arc, and that would have given more credibility to the villains, making them seem more as a threat or more threatening instead of just somebody who can simply flatten cities. Although this is slightly off topic, the villain hunt arc is actually my personal favorite arc of the story, but it doesn't mean that it's the best either. So if I were to rewrite the villain hunt arc, I would have shown even more of the aftermath of the first battle, the first war, the state of society, and Deku's mental state, which I feel like a lot of it was completely overlooked during the 20 chapters or so that Horikoshi wrote. Then I would definitely foreshadow, Class 1A looking for Deku. Even though this is even more off topic, I personally love how Orichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece, does heavily foreshadowing, and I want to definitely take a lot of inspiration from him and the way he writes things. So Class 1A definitely would have been more foreshadowed than it just being a big plot twist at the end of the arc. Going back on topic, killing some of the characters off during the major battle would have made the Aoyama being the UA traitor plot twist even more sinister. It wouldn't have only been, oh my gosh, Aoyama, you put us in danger, that's crazy, but it would have also added the aspect of, oh my god, you're directly responsible for the death of our friends, if you know where I'm going with this. It would have made way more of an emotional impact on all the characters and for the readers as well, and it definitely would have had more realistic feelings as to whether Aoyama should have been forgiven or shouldn't have been forgiven, even despite his circumstances, and it would have given more depth into the entire story instead of the traditional, oh guys, he's our friend and you know he should be forgiven because you can be a hero too, everybody can be a hero. You know, I just really didn't like that ending of that part of the story, and just killing off some of the characters would have added way more realistic dynamics and duality to everything. Additionally, adding some of these slight changes would have added way more severity to the entire situation as a whole, and really make the villains look more like threats than simply people who just needed to be stopped altogether. Okay, so now this part of the video will contain manga spoilers, so if you're an anime only or even care about manga spoilers, skip to the part of the video that is being shown on the screen. And with spoiler warnings out the way, let me go ahead and give my thoughts on the final chapters of the series. During and after the final war, I would have killed basically the rest of Class 1A with a couple of exceptions, and these exceptions are characters that had a main role in defeating the villains. So these characters would be people like Deku, Ochako, and you know, surprisingly, I love what Horikoshi Sensei did with Bakugo's character, so I actually would have let him live too. I would have let Kaminari live, Todoroki, Ira, and Momoya. I just really hate how Jiro and Kageyama wasn't even killed by the biggest villain of the entire story, and to me it just diminishes all the credibility for All For One had to his name. Probably one of the biggest character deaths I would have done was killing Aoyama. So after he lured the villains into a trap, his character kind of just didn't really serve much of a purpose anymore. In any sense, that would have been his redemption arc. Killing him would also make the aftermath of the final battle even more emotional by having the remainder of Class 1A torn on whether he should be forgiven by helping the heroes win a big victory or still being hated, you know, and it would have definitely divided the fan base, but in a good way. People would definitely question whether he should have been forgiven or, hey, he did what he did was wrong, and we just cannot let that go either. Another change that I would have made is also having Shigaraki killing more of the main cast. It's the same thing how I basically feel about All For One. How can a dude who can literally flatten an entire city with a touch of his hand not be able to kill off anybody of any significance or importance, you know? And you know, if Horikoshi didn't want to go into that direction of killing most of the characters, I definitely would have left a lot of permanent scars, missing limbs, missing organs, and all of that type of stuff. I felt like there was like a complete lack of that in the ending of the story, and you know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me how Shigaraki, being one of the biggest villains, one of the major threats, couldn't really do anything all that dangerous or important besides collateral damage. I also hated how Horikoshi Sensei went straight into reconstruction of Japan immediately after the end of the war. After Shigaraki's death, I would have given Deku way more inner monologue immediately following the end of the story, and afterwards I would have definitely shown more of the aftermath of the final battle with the majority of Class 1A dead, more severely injured, and even more collateral damage. And definitely afterwards I would have shown even more of an impact on society after the final war. I also really personally hated chapter 425 of the manga. It felt like the worst chapter of the entire manga in my opinion. Muriel's graduation could have easily been 3 to 5 chapters long, 2 chapters really focusing on the graduation ceremony itself and how it will emotionally impact all the characters, and then having an extra couple of chapters showing Lemillion actually saving 1 million lives, showing the Big Three making a lot of changes to society, and a lot more. And assuming that Aoyama was still kept alive after the war, his section of the chapter would have been way longer. Given my changes, I would have still divided Class 1A on whether he should have been forgiven or not, and either way, his section of the chapter was only made a couple of pages long. It was treated more so as a joke rather than something that should be taken seriously. and that entire section easily could have been a chapter of its own. I actually really like the conclusion of the Toriyuki family, and I personally still think Natsu was a complete asshole. And I also like what he did with Ochako's character, and I wouldn't change anything about that personally. And after the current events that's happening as of chapter 429, I also added a second time skip to their graduation, and also showing Deku actually becoming the #1 hero as he inspired in the beginning of the series. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, I might actually make Bakugo the #1 hero for a short amount of time, just keeping a little friendly rivalry going on. I personally believe that the epilogue could have easily been 20 to 30 chapters, but Horikoshi Sensei didn't choose to take it in that direction, which is completely fine. After working on the manga for around 10 years, he definitely deserves a nice and long and healthy break. And even though I would have changed some of the events that happened, I'm still very proud of Horikoshi Sensei, and I'm still appreciative of his work and what he has done, and I wish nothing but the best for him in his future endeavors. Well, everybody, that's the end of my video, and I really hope you enjoyed the time lapse. I hope you enjoyed my little commentary about the manga, and I just hope you enjoyed everything today. I hope I could have made your day just a little bit better. Once again, if you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, share, and all that type of stuff. If you want to see more, you can definitely follow me on my Instagram and Twitter at Kuroi_Egajin, and I look forward to seeing y'all later, man. Y'all take it easy.